mountains. Some 25 million years ago, as a result of the accumulation of material from repeated eruptions. The area of Timanfaya National Park we are now visiting, within the confines of the Faya Mountains, is located in the southeast of the island and comprises but a small part of the 172 square kilometers covered by volcanic debris during the eruptions of the 18th and 19th centuries. Between 1726 and 1730, frequent earthquakes and loud underground rumblings caused panic among the population of the interior, who fled, seeking refuge in Teguise and Arrecife. The eruption took place towards the end of the summer of 1730, on the evening of the 1st of September. The events that then occurred were recorded in the manuscripts of an exceptional witness, the priest of Yaitse, Don Andres Lorenzo Corbello, who wrote, "Between 9 and 10 o'clock in the evening, the earth suddenly opened near Timanfaya, 2 leagues from Yaitse. During the first night, an enormous mountain arose out of the heart of the earth. The flames, which came out of its apex, went on burning for 19 days. This signaled the beginning of the most important period of volcanic activity in the history of the Canary Islands. It lasted for 6 years, with phases of varying intensity, during which streams of molten lava registering 800 degrees centigrade and enormous showers of ashes destroyed every last vestige of life." Fractures which opened at the base of many of the volcanoes which originated during the eruptions. The Virgin's Mantle is the most emblematic hornito, or small oven, in the Faya Mountains. These structures form when the accumulation of gases in the tunnel interiors, through which the lava flows, is such that they fracture the roof, causing the emission of incandescent materials and gases under great pressure. Timanfaya eruptions belong to the fissure category, which means an enormous fissure several kilometers long opens up, allowing vast amounts of lava to emerge in the form of molten streams. This lava fills up depressions in the ground, leveling out the terrain to leave an almost horizontal surface. Cones form from the accumulation of volcanic material around emission areas. Lava flows dominate the landscape, despite the sight of large amounts of cones and numerous eruption exits. An endless amount of lava tongues sprouts from craters which join up, intermingling with each other to form an immense sea of lava, which occupies an entire quarter of the central part of the island. The lava flows stretch all the way from the volcanoes to the distant coastline, reaching up to 20 kilometers in length at certain points. Upon entering the sea, they caused gigantic columns of vapor to rise. the lava mass forcing the waters to recede, thus considerably increasing the surface area of Lanzarote. People believed that the fires in the volcanoes were dying out, new fissures opened up and the eruptions regained their former intensity. This was recorded by the priest of Yaitsa as follows. On the 18th of October 1730, 3 new openings formed on top of Santa Catalina and from other outlets, from which thick smoke emerges and spreads over the entire island. At the same time, huge quantities of lava and ash are being scattered over the surrounding countryside. The explosions that followed this phenomenon, together with the intense darkness produced by masses of ashes and smoke covering the whole island, caused the inhabitants of Yaitsa to take flight several times. The lava streams and showers of volcanic grains totally destroyed around 30 hamlets, besides causing serious damage to another 20 small villages. Large areas under cultivation were also destroyed, together with crops, barns, water catchments, pasture lands and livestock. Expand. More than 800 species of animal life and plants have been noted within its confines, mostly terrestrial, but some in the sea. Organisms that live directly on the rocks are birds, lizards, and above all, various species of lichens. Very fluid lava flows poured from the cones of the volcanoes, which spread out till reaching the coast. Some of the immense streams of molten lava flowed through subterranean channels, allowing us to see the red and black colors of the lava.
Out to your right, please.
Plant life takes root in these areas, where even lichens are very rare. The volcanoes which form Timanfaya National Park were formed during powerful eruptions of basaltic magma. In some ways, they resemble those of Hawaii. This category of volcano emits huge amounts of lava whilst projecting moderate amounts of grains several hundred meters into the air. These grains are carried by the wind and deposited around the areas of their emission. Located at the base of the Macizo del Fuego is a laboratory which registers volcanic movement in Timanfaya. Seismic activity is monitored round the clock in this observatory, as well as deformation of the surface and thermal and gas emissions. During the ascent of Macizo del Fuego,
Now, never, let's see whether we're going to be able to do it or not. Take a look in front of us. We're almost out.
find ourselves was the epicenter of the eruptions and is 525 meters high at its summit. This volcano was covered with slag and ashes from the 18th century eruptions, but at its crest one notices that the surface of the older section is not completely covered up by the more recent lava. Deep calderas is absolute by day. No sign of life, except for lichens blanketing the rocks, whose coloring enhances the black lava. This changes at night when millions of insects scramble among the rocks, hunting for food in the form of organic matter transported by the wind. As there is no earth, there is practically no plant life, except in a few isolated spots where yellow dust has accumulated as a result of dust storms in the distant Sahara. These occasionally cloud the atmosphere.
Guide us. Dun, 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 dun. Take a look. In front of us, now.
The last eruptions on Lanzarote took place in 1824, following a preparatory period of 10 years, during which numerous earthquakes of medium intensity took place. This eruption commenced close to Hilario's Isle, from which emanations of enormous heat emerge. It is named for a hermit called Hilario, who frequented this islet for 50 years with only a camel to keep him company. According to legend, Hilario planted a fig tree at this spot, which, although taking root, never bore fruit, as the flower could not blossom due to the intense heat of the flames.